I don't know what to say when we're out and about. We're at Granville Island Public Market. It's one of my favorite markets. It's pretty touristy, I'll be honest, and we're here on a Sunday, so it's gonna be like raging inside, but they have some of the best like produce, prepared foods. It's like amazing. So I know what we're gonna cook today. We're gonna make a Vietnamese pesto. I work at a Vietnamese restaurant right now, so we always have herbs that are like about to go bad, so I'll make this like at the start of my work week and I'll eat it all week. So I figured like I'll share that recipe. Very similar to what I eat on the daily. It's like pretty healthy and yeah, it's good. If you're ever in Vancouver, I would highly suggest to come to Granville Island. Not even just the market, just all of Granville Island is like beautiful. So we'll show that off a little bit and then we'll go home, cook, you know, we'll just do the usual thing. We'll cook and we'll eat. Maybe we'll grab a donut when we're inside because LEES Donuts is here. You know, maybe we'll do a little donut review or something. So that's it, let's head into the market. Stopped at LEES Donuts. Pretty world-renowned spot. I've had these a million times, so it's not gonna be like shocking when I eat it, but I highly recommend going here if you're in Vancouver, and I highly recommend the honey dip. Normally I'm a pretty big sucker for like the crazy donut flavors. I love all that stuff, but this is my favorite one from here. It's like the most simple. Can you get all the sugar on my lips? It's fucked up, it never gets old, like no matter how many years you eat these. If you're a cake donut person, they have tons of cake donuts as well. Personally, I'm all yeast all the time. LEES Donuts, Granville Island Market. All right, we got all the groceries we needed to make the pesto. We got some rice from a little sushi spot so we can do some fried rice without having to, you know, cook any rice. We'll go home and then, yeah, we'll check in with you guys there. Cook this dish, see you there. All right, we're back. We got everything we needed. I don't know about anyone watching this, but I try to eat healthy pretty often. And for me, like having routine is really important. So this is something that like, this is kind of my work meal. It's really easy for me to prep it at the beginning of my work week and have it for the rest of the week. I just got our lemongrass here and I just got about two, just of the middle sections. The ends are a little bit too tough to cut. So I just split it this way. And then what you want to do is just slice it thin. And I just have some oil preheating, some avocado oil over medium low. I'm just gonna let this start to kind of gently saute. I'm just gonna do half an onion, small dice of this. And we're just gonna let that cook slowly, let them go for about 4 or 5 minutes. And then we'll prep everything that we need to do in the blender and do some of this fresh green onion. I'm just gonna take the ends off and I'm just gonna take these. Ends are usually a little bit bruised. Yeah, we'll do 3. And I'm just gonna, since we're blending them, like you don't have to really cut them too nice. I'm just gonna cut them big enough to get in the blender. I got one bunch of cilantro that I'm gonna use about half of. Maybe get rid of these stems, the very bottom, just because they're probably dirty. When you're using cilantro, it's one of those herbs that the stems are very easy to eat. Like they're not fibrous. So I think a lot of people like pick the stems completely off, but you don't have to do that. It's also like packed with cilantro flavor here. So make sure you get your money's worth out of your herbs. Fresh mint, a fair amount of this. Mint, you definitely try and get these stems out of here as much as possible. The little baby ones are okay. If you see anything bruised, try and omit it, but also this is a good way to use herbs that are gonna go bad. All right, so we got a bunch of mint in there, and then we're probably gonna use this whole bag of Thai basil. Oop, whoops. So yeah, these two, you don't want the stems of these in here. All these like very thick purpley stems. Just leave those. That's all of our greens. I screwed up just now. I forgot to buy a lime. Then we went to the store so that I could get the lime that I forgot. And I also realized I forgot peanuts. Luckily I have crunchy peanut butter, but I would suggest to use a tablespoon of peanuts because you don't normally want it like buttery in a pesto, but we'll just use this today. So I'll put a tablespoon of that in. I would say if you're using whole peanuts, do 2 tablespoons. Ginger, and I always keep this in the freezer. I know I say this in lots of videos, but you know, in case there's any new viewers, I keep my ginger in the freezer and I always grate it, and it just like grates really nicely and you don't get any like fibrous, like really tough to eat stuff in there. Teaspoon of fresh ginger, 1 lime zest, and the juice. Oh! These are nice and soft. This is fish sauce. At the restaurant, we get a vegetarian fish sauce, and normally it's pretty easy to get, but I just could not find any, so we're just gonna use regular fish sauce today. I normally eat vegetarian fish sauce, but you know, for the sake of the video, 2 tablespoons of that. The sauce is quite salty, and also it smells really bad, so you'll notice your whole kitchen smells disgusting when you add this, but that's okay. A tablespoon of sugar, chili flakes, however spicy you want it, but I'm just gonna do like half a teaspoon. Okay, so that cooked for like 1 minute. The sugar like dissolves and it almost like turns to like, you know, a syrup. So you have this like sweet fish sauce syrup. Now we don't want to put this directly in there with like a bunch of fresh herbs really hot. So I just want to cool this quickly and I'll just pop it in the freezer for about 10 minutes or so. When we were at the market, I just went to a sushi restaurant, asked for a side of rice. It's usually like $2 or $3. Pretty like great way if you don't feel like, you know, spending the time to make sushi rice, which we didn't because we were out and about today. It's like good little hack. It's completely cooled. Cooled rice fries better than warm rice. Just prep a little bit of broccoli to do like a little broccoli stir fry with it. And I'm gonna do the broccoli quite small, just so it'll cook quickly. More often than not, I make a dish with all the things that I like and that things that will benefit me nutritionally, and I stick to those, and I try and eat that like 5 days a week. Just completely forgot everything. My brain just shut off in the middle of that. Now, obviously I'm not saying like you should eat fried rice 5 days a week, but design a dish that you really love to eat and like stick to it. People get in this funny place with food where they're like always looking to be pleasured, and I don't think it's about that all the time. I think there's like some benefit in just being like, all right, I like to eat this. It's got mostly healthy and I can live off that and eat that most of the time. And then treat yourself on the weekends or whatever. Consistency is key and like really helped me eat way healthier. So cold rice is always like sticky, so whenever I put it in the pan, I just try and crumble it as best as I can. This is just avocado oil in here. Get it coated in the oil. And we'll just saute this for a few minutes. Easy dish. Is this cool? Nope, smells like shit though. Anyone who's like familiar with the rice cooker and the bottom part of the rice that gets a little bit crispy. A lot of times when I'm frying rice, I like to simulate that, you know, I've sauteed it a little bit and the broccoli's almost cooked through, so now it's kind of okay that I do this for the last minute or two. I'll just kind of use a non-stick pan for this, but I'll just kind of work it around the pan to make it to give it as much like contact with the pan as possible. And then I'll just leave it and completely let it finish cooking unilaterally, like basically just on one side. So I'll let that go for about 3 minutes, and then you'll get like a little bit of that crispiness on the bottom side of the rice. See you in 3 minutes. All right, movie magic. It's been 3 minutes. It's done. I didn't move it. So I'm just gonna give it a toss and break it up now. You can see we got like some of this nice crispiness. We got a little bit of char on some of these pieces of broccoli. A little bit of salt. That salt's all worked in. And I'll just let this sit, keep warm while we finish our pesto. So this has been in the freezer for like 10 minutes, about 10 minutes. So we're good to put this in. Blend it, but you don't want it too smooth. I really like it to be like chunky. I mean, if you want it more smooth, feel free, but I like it to be like, you know, that chunky like pesto consistency. If it's like stuck in one spot, then I'll like take the lid off and move it around and make sure that I like blend it as little as possible. Still got like that nice chunkiness. So right now you just want to taste and adjust. Check your salt, check your sweetness. That fish sauce like seasons it perfectly with salt. I would like more lime in there. Since I only bought one, I'm just gonna use a tiny bit of apple cider vinegar because that's what I have. But I just need a little bit more acidity in there. So, just plating, yeah. This is very much a thing that I eat so often that I just dump it in the bowl. I just pour the pesto over top, and I usually do like a fried egg or something on it. But for the thumbnail's sake, we gotta try and make it look good. I really love this pesto, but like, you know, don't feel like you have to make it on fried rice specifically. I'm gonna use a little bit of my my own brand chili oil here. Green onions that I just julienned. Also, if you are one of those people who cannot stand cilantro and it tastes like soap to you, you can just use more of the other herbs. So you could just do like double mint and basil, or even some Italian flat leaf parsley would work well. Little veggie fried rice. Yeah, I just wanted to show this Vietnamese pesto because I've been living off it. It's like really fragrant and really flavorful. All right, let's taste this. 10 out of 10. Yeah, tastes great. The chilies, the little bit of spice in there is so good. I'm happy I added that little bit of vinegar because I like this pesto to be quite bright. Yeah, it's like a little bit spicy, really aromatic from that lemongrass, the ginger, all that stuff comes through, and then like super savory from the fish sauce. And that little bit of sweetness like really helps calm that fish sauce down. Okay, well, in all honesty, we did film this video like 2 months ago, and we were feeling real fucking creative that day. And we were like, let's fuck with the camera settings. Like, let's just completely turn them on their head. Footage was bad. It didn't turn out. We filmed this entire dish. There was tons of cool B-roll. We went to art gallery for the day. Like, it was a good video, but the footage just was unusable. So this is take 2 on this video, but it was important to me that we did this video because sometimes we're cooking crazy stuff on this channel, and I'm like, this isn't really how I eat, you know? Like, I'm not making cakes and stuff at home. Like, at home, I usually do keep it really simple, and I'll eat rice, vegetables, tofu, eggs, stuff like that. I think that has been the success to my own personal nutrition kind of journey, is just like finding something that works and sticking to it, and that one thing being something that I like enough that I'm okay with eating it 5 days a week. Maybe yours isn't this dish at all. Hopefully you can take some techniques that you learned off this channel and be able to build that dish that's perfect for you. So I just want to see people cooking and making sure that you have the skill to feed yourself. It's an essential skill, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let Uber Eats crawl into your pocket every night. Make sure you're learning how to cook. You need to be able to feed yourself, and ideally, you know, you can cook for someone you love too. So that's it for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.